In the year of intelligent systems, 1988, there was this lovely ever-ending time of peace. Birds flew all over the place. The place was all black and white because this was back in the day when we did not have color. Pegasus were alive back then because those were majestic beasts before those dastards decided to go over and completely wipe them out. Seriously, they are massive dastards for doing that. But the thing I am completely glossing over right here is that with these kind of mythical beasts and all this lovely other stuff, that means one thing: war. Yes, lovely war, bloodshed, fun, and all that strategically. I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore, but yeah. Anyways, hey guys and gals, 39 and welcome at long last to my new Let's Play of Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. And boy, that's all I'll say. Just boy, this is gonna be a ride. Lord, I'm running out of lots of words. Cause this intro's still going. How long it is right here. It's like, seriously, almighty, but I think we're about we're about done with it at this point. But yeah, Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon. This is the remake of the very first Fire Emblem game. I forget the name at the moment. I'm pretty sure my future self can actually go over and clarify that for me. So that alone would be pretty nice. But anyways, before we even get to the whole nitty-gritty or whatever of this game, I want to address one problem that we're going to be having for the first, 5 parts. Yeah, you can barely read the text right here. I didn't realize this problem when I first did my first recording session of this, so for that reason, it's going to be a little bit hard to read the dialogue, but after a little while, it does become a lot more easier to read it, and all that stuff. Another thing I'm also mentioning right here, if you couldn't really tell already, I am playing the Wii U Virtual Console. Yes, Virtual Console. The Virtual Console version of this game, because that's the only version I have of it. And just, yeah. Anyways, I'm not really reading the dialogue right here because, I mean, you guys kind of have eyes, but at the same time, not really. I don't know, my future self might be editing in text right here for you guys to read. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be doing during the editing phase, but Anyways, the history of this game right here, backstory really, there was a long lag of peace a while back, and then suddenly a dragon that calls himself the Shadow Dragon, why, not entirely sure, decided to go over and wreak terror across the land. There was an unknown figure that appeared, and Slade said beast because he needed to be put in a timeout. Since that day, we have been in everlong lasting peace again. 10,000 years later, or whenever this game, or however long really, since it doesn't really specify how long, that beast was finally put out of timeout and started plunging chaos throughout the land again. The King of Arcanea, or Archaea, I don't know, I forget the name, and the text is way too small for me to even say what the actual name of this kingdom is. Has been set over to deal with this threat. Well, his son, Marth, right here, our lovely protagonist in this game, is at home practicing and learning how to become a good ruler. Suddenly, a couple days later, some random, well, actually that'd be kind of spoiling what's going to be coming up ahead right here, but for now, I am taking the time to go over and moving the battle speed to fast, so we can move a little bit faster right there. There we go. Oi! Oi! Just oi! Soldiers are invading the castle. And they are apparently calling some Graw. Pretty much, the Graw Kingdom is allied to this kingdom. Quote unquote, anyways. And for some reason they're invading. Why? Maybe they just forgot their cup of tea and they just want to come back and get it. And they're taking over the castle for that reason. Don't ask why. It's a really complicated story, really. So yeah, there's that much right there. I'm not even really talking about the game. I'm just talking about random stuff right here. Because I'm about to say, because we are going to be going through some, well, bullish parts right here to start off with. Pretty much the tutorials. And something I should say right here is that if you are playing this on hard mode, you completely skip the prologue and you head straight into the game. If you're doing normal mode like I am right here, you do have to go through the tutorials right here, which... I mean, I'd rather not go through these tutorials right here, since I'll admit I've been playing these games for a little while now, so these tutorials are completely meaningless to me, but no, we're gonna have to go through it, and this is technically the first Fire Emblem game I am doing for the channel, and for that reason, I kinda want to go over and explain the whole meaty green of this entire thingamajig right here. So, pretty much you're able to move, you can select your unit, and you can go within a certain distance for that. If you get close to an enemy ally, you can go up and you can choose to fight him. The game will tell you how much damage you are able to do to him, and how much damage you are able to do to your opponents, and some other stats to show how well the opponent will take the hit, or how well you will take the hit. It's kind of hard to say right here because of how blurry the bottom screen right there is at the moment. Actually, I say bottom screen, but the smaller screen right there is actually it's actually the top screen. And the part you're seeing right here is actually the bottom screen. Because most of the combat, most of the things that you're going to be doing in this game, pretty much all the moving around units and all that stuff, you're doing that on the bottom screen. It's not until, I'd like to say, some future handheld Fire Emblem games is where they went over and... Jeez. Oh my gosh. It's not until the handheld games is when they put the actual combat thingamajig on the top screen instead of having it be on the bottom screen. So, anyways, Graw invaded because they hated us. Because they hated us for taking their tea. I don't know, I'm making my own version of the story right here. But apparently this castle is being sworn by them because they are really upset for us taking their tea. I mean, we kind of accidentally took it with us. We didn't really realize it. We were about to go over and apologize for it, but no, they brought brute force for some absolutely no reason right here. But pretty much this lovely lass right here, well, Clark really. This is Marth's older sister, and she is pretty much telling him, go out, just go away, I'll catch up to you soon. What you actually don't know is that she's planning on committing suicide because she was the one that was responsible for taking said tea set. Yes, blame this whole invasion on her, and she is living up to the responsibilities. People are going to be questioning her choices right here later. But for now, we're not going to question it, because we don't actually know that. Well, I'm like just giving this might as well just be an abridged playthrough at this point. Like, Lord. Seriously, this might as well just be abridged. Something I should also mention right here. This is a post-commentary playthrough because I need as much concentration as I can for these kind of games. well, Fire Emblem specifically, just so we're able to get through each chapter relatively quickly and not be here for hours on end. So that's why this is a post-commentary playthrough and not a live commentary playthrough that I have been doing for the past while now. So, with that being said, we have two cleveries right here, Abel and Faye. They are your early game cleveries, and one of which is actually a pretty good unit if you decide to keep him. I am speaking of Abel specifically because, Lord Almighty, Abel's actually he's a really good unit right here. I'll get into some more details about that later, but just for now, just kind of note that he is really good, and I'm going to be using him as much as I can throughout this playthrough right here. So, with that being said though, I guess I should actually get into some more, well, tutorial-y kind of stuff right here, though we're only like 5 minutes left in this video right here. Kind of shows how quickly I go through this prologue right here, but sadly for all of us, I had to cut the prologue in half right here. You're probably wondering why in half. Well, there are four prologue chapters that you need to go through if you're playing normal mode. The first half I got through relatively smoothly. The other two took me a little long because I was pretty stall heavy and I wanted to have you guys read the text. Of course, that was kind of pointless on my own part because I couldn't predict that this was going to happen right here. And what Faye just did right there, getting into the game right there, he just did a critical hit right there, which that is a small chance of that has a small chance of happening, and it's dependent on your skill stat. I'll be talking about actual stats in the next part because we'll have more time to talk about it here. But for now, we're just gonna kind of get more to the more. Yeah, more to the more. 100% no. We're gonna be getting in. Jeez, we're gonna be talking about more tutorial-related stuff right here. I want to bring up one thing that has been tried and true throughout the entire series right here. Jeez, about the entire series right here, and I am speaking of the weapon triangle. For those who don't know or have not played a Fire Emblem game before, there are three main weapon types. There is swords, lances, and axes. Swords do not do a lot of damage, but they allow you to hit. But you have higher chance of hitting and all that lovely stuff. Lances are pretty much average at best. They are able to do good amount of damage, and you are able to hit decently well. Axes, you are able to do a lot of damage, but at the cost of not being able to hit pretty well. That is pretty much the sacrifice that you are having right there, but axes are still pretty good weapons for that reason. Now, actually talking about the actual weapon triangle right here, and we got another level up right here. I'll talk about more about levels right here in another part. Anyways, I'm gonna say, pass me. What the heck are you doing? I was like, alright, fine. You really able to get the experience right there? Fine. Not able to get the experience right here. Anyways, the actual weapon triangle right here, I should say, it pretty much works like a rock paper scissors kind of situation right here. I know we're going for cutscenes at this point, but I'm still gonna talk about the weapon triangle right here because we do not have much longer for this part right here. Pretty much, it works like a rock paper scissors, so kind of similar to Pokemon with fire beats grass, grass beats water, and water beats water. And water beats water. No, water beats fire. The weapon triangle has something similar to that. Pretty much in this case, it is swords beat axes, axes beat lances, and lances beat swords. It's not all that important early game, but later in the game, this is actually a pretty nice thing to keep in mind. I'll say that much right there. Anyways. Is there really much more for me to say right here that's not, like, story related? Right here. Apparently, As soon as we cleared out everybody right here, we meet one of the generals right here, General Jagan. Bit of an old man that has quite a bit of power. He's your early game paladin, because every Fire Emblem game has to have some kind of early game, like overpowered units, just so you can kind of get through the game kind of smoothly. Beginning of the game if you so choose. And earlier ago there was also Kane, which he claims that he came back with. Jeez, he has returned from the fights from the game. I am explaining this very poorly, and I will answer any questions in the descriptions. Well, yes, in the description, no in the comments, if you guys have any. Like, Lord, seriously, I am doing terrible at my job and as an LP here. But what else can I say really right here? But pretty much, he was bleeding to death. He says, I have some final words for your father. But the words could not be said right away because, yeah, you kind of need to go right now. If not, then we're gonna kind of get ambushed and all that lovely stuff right there. Anyways, I'll just kind of stop at this point. But anyways, next time we'll be here. We'll be finishing up the prologue. Yay! And actually be done with tutorials, and hopefully by the other part we'll actually get to the actual game, in a way. With that being said, I'll see you guys until then.